Okay, so nothing really prepared for this video, no script, no bullet points. I just thought about sharing what's coming up for me naturally. And yeah, so what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about somatic coaching, which is something that I have been exploring in the past few months. So basically, it is the type of coaching training that I decided to enroll into. So yeah, it is coaching, and I don't know if you're familiar with ICF and just coaching programs. Yes, so that is an ICF approved and accredited school institute that provides a somatic coaching certification training. So yeah, but really the question here is, what is somatic coaching? What even is somatic coaching? Because there's this weird word over there that is somatic. Like, what is somatic? So somatic comes from soma, which means body in Greek. And yes, we're talking about the body, our body, your body, the bodies. And why the body? Why the body? Well, just think about it. Everything happens in the body. Everything that you do, everything that you think, everything that you imagine, everything that you feel is happening here. It's happening in the body. So that means that any decision that you make, any plan that you have in your head, any emotion that you are feeling is all experienced in here. So your body plays a huge role, if not the main role, in your life. And sometimes what happens is we end up on a road where we're not aligned with our bodies. We're not aligned with who we actually are, or I should say with who we want to be. So there's this misalignment between who we currently are, and in somatics we say our current shape. We refer to the body and just to our whole self as a shape. Is misaligned, like between this current shape and your values and your, let's say, envisioned shape that you want to, let's say, navigate towards. So what somatic coaching does is really helping you fill this gap and help you navigate and really row towards your, let's say, authentic self, your embodied self. So in somatic coaching, you work from a current shape to develop a new shape which has more capacity to hold complexity and has built more competencies, embodied competencies to, let's say, face challenges and pressures. So it is really a whole process, and it takes time. Like, even for us coaches, I mean, I'm calling myself a coach, but I'm not a coach yet, meaning that I have to get my certification pretty soon. But yeah, like even for us, it's like a never ending, like a lifelong process. It's not that like after 8 months this training is 8 month long, but I mean, you're not arrived, let's say. Like, the path has just started and probably will never end. It's just really a new way, a different way, a choiceful way, a more choiceful way, a more aligned way of living your life, which, you know, sounds pretty good, right? So basically, yeah, the the coaching relationship starts with let's say framing the current shape and who you are now, so your starting point. And there's nothing really bad about it, as in, like, you know, when I hear a lot of people saying, and probably I used these expressions a lot with myself, but like something like, oh, I need to get to the better version of myself, I need to get like this will be the best version of myself, almost as if you are dismissing your current version of yourself, which is still like dignifiable and still needs and deserves to be recognized and acknowledged. It's not that now you're a piece of feces and who you're becoming then is like, oh, the holy grail, and the holy grail, like that is like the image of God or goddess, if you're a woman, that I aspire to, and all of that is here now present is like totally not okay. This is not what we're doing. And like, to be honest, it's like, frankly, every let's say path, every personal development path should have this type of reframing, where yes, I might want to get better at something, but I'm still okay with who I am right now, which is a very huge piece for self-acceptance, at least for me. But so yeah, basically the body, embodiment, shapes, what else? Practices. Somatic coaching really focuses on practices. What do we mean by practices? Well, there are body practices that we can do in order to let's say expand and deepen our learning of ourselves, because we experience the world through our body, and we will see a lot of ourselves through these somatic practices. And through this process of visualizing yourself in these practices with the current self, we want to expand and give more room to new ways of approaching the world. So this is really all about expanding and opening and deepening who we are and who we want to be, so that we can basically face the same challenges under the same pressure, but with a new shape. This is overall somatic coaching, like briefly and very randomly explained. And these months so far have been wild. Like I've literally seen the not improvements. I don't like say this word, but like more the development of everything that I've gone through and how it's been playing on my body. And I really feel that this process should be experienced by anyone, because really can make a difference. And also there's like the previous video that I made, that I published, is The-Centered Leader, right? And no, this channel is called The Centered Leader. What am I saying? So yeah, like this world centered is really important in somatic coaching, because there's an actual foundational practice that is called centering, a centering practice. which is all about reorganizing yourself into 3 dimensions plus 1, which is, well, it's called a declaration, but it is something that goes a little bit deeper into somatic work. But basically, a centered mood, a centered presence is the starting point of everything that we do on a day-to-day basis. Like, we start from center. And what is our center? That's the whole, let's say, question around somatic coaching. Like, yeah, okay, but what does a centered presence feel and look like? Which is something that you discover through somatic coaching. And a centered leader, why a centered leader? Because I think, well, from my, let's say, ignorance, because I've never had a leadership position. I've never been a leader. I've always been like in the lower ranks. How do you say, like, I've never been a manager. I've never worked as a manager, so I don't necessarily know what it entails to work as a leader in a team, or just in an organization. But what I do know is that whatever is, let's say, whatever works for the personal domain, so like private life and private situations, works for also in the organization domain, in the firm's domain, like corporate world, basically. And honestly, like, I'm seeing that this type of language, this type of approach is more popular, is becoming more popular, meaning like, okay, so leaders, how are you being, who are you in your leadership position, which is really important, because if you're leading somebody, if you're leading a team, you are indirectly and directly influencing them, whether they know it or not, and whether you know it or not. So it is really important to embody the values that you personally have and that the organization has, so that you can convey and deliver these values to your team. But how you do that is the question. So working with leaders in somatic coaching is incredible. I think that really is like a shift. It's really like a shift for leaders and managers and even entrepreneurs. Just people who have a lot of responsibilities need to really show up in a way that is aligned with their values and the values of the company. So this is really a work of realignment and really reorganization of your own self, of your soma. So how do I deliver this space in a more assertive way? How do I keep myself steady during a storm, during an organizational challenge, which, it happens a lot of times. There's a challenge, there's a disruption in the organization. Okay, so the people in the organization need to, let's say, navigate that. And how do they do that? How do they do that? Somatic coaching, somatic practices. Who am I? What are my values? How do I keep my team row and navigate? How do I keep my team steady while centering myself? While keeping myself steady? So it's like, it's a beautiful word, guys. It's like, I've seen the impact on people in these, let's say, domain, and it's just wonderful to see that. And yeah, so I guess that's what I want to say. I'm not sure if I will be doing some other type of videos like this. I feel like they're more natural, and to be honest, like the last video that I made, it took me hours to do that, because, well, I was worried about my English. I was worried about the specific and the right way of saying something, so I had to write the script, but at the same time, while I was reading it, I needed to make it sound natural. But it's just not a waste of time, but it's just like a long thing to do. So I thought, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna play it out and see what happens. I think I'm doing pretty good, but whatever. So this is the Centered Leader for now, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao.